There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's season 8 of the Supercheap Auto East Coast V8 series. I'm John Van Ree. With me tonight is Mark Duggan. We are coming to you from beautiful downtown Los Angeles at Long Beach, California. How are you, Mark?
Yeah, very good, John. Good to be back at the East Coast V8 series. One of my favourite tracks around here, Long Beach. Certainly my favourite street circuit. Always produces some high-octane racing.
Yeah, it is a great circuit, and we have a very interesting field with us this evening. Of course, these boys just winding up the last little bit of practice here. Some big names: Brody Kostecki, Richie Stanaway, James Scott, our reigning champion, Jordan Ross, the man who came second in the series last season. And then, not to mention, we also have quite a few other guys running in that Super 2 category, which will try and highlight some of that for you as we go on this evening.
Yeah, we've got some new faces here, John. Many returning faces as well. Of course, like you said, James Scott, current series champion. Also got Brenton Hobson, previous series champion. Yeah, like plenty of big names and plenty of newcomers. Jared Feisel's just joined the server. So James Scott not going to have it all his own way, I don't think. So it should be a good night's racing.
Yeah, it should be. Trying to iron out some bugs in my system here, but we'll definitely get there. How are you, Stephen Murray, in the chat? Good to have you back along with us, mate. And yeah, going to be a very interesting field that we've got running tonight. And these boys, of course, in the last 30 seconds of practice, as we talked about. Let's have a quick look at this Long Beach circuit. It is, of course, another one of these great American brick wall canyon circuits on a road track. And, of course, Dave Baldock's in the chat as well. How are you, Mr. Baldock? So we start off on the start-finish way lane where we sweep around the corner down to the Fast and Furious Turn 1. Need to get the apex right there because it sets you up for Turn 2 and 3 around the fountain. Then we come sweeping through 4 and then through the off-camber Turn 5, where we go down the short little straightaway down West Shoreline Drive, where we hang a big left-hand turn, which is a fast sweeping corner, and then we hang another quick turn into Eastside Way. Down the fast back straightaway through the Turn 9 and 10 combination, and then we come to the all-important hairpin that you need to get right to get the speed and carry yourself down that main straightaway back to the start-finish. Like I said, it's a tough track. You're looking at some very quick times to get you by, and we'll see what these boys can do in qualifying.
Yeah, very difficult track to execute a perfect lap round here, as many hand grenades thrown at you around this circuit, and very easy to overshoot, outbrake yourself, miss an apex and scrape the wall. So yeah, the boys are going to be having to be right on top of their game tonight. We had a race here with Scops on Sunday that produced some great racing, so no reason why we won't get the same tonight.
Yeah, I'd be expecting it from these boys, and there was quite a few guys in the officials last night that I noted as I was going around. But yeah, we're very interested in these guys. You can see everyone's starting to posture themselves to set themselves up for this start. And some good returning names in this group as well, of course. We've got Craig Schultz, who's come back, our reigning Super 2 champion. So Craig's out there as well from 95 Sim Sports. couple of new faces, Dylan Gray. So Dylan from SLM Motorsport joins the group. And, of course, some other new names that we haven't seen before. Tyrone Walsh, another one of the Super 2 boys. Keep an eye out for Tyrone. Another one from the SLM group. Mal Powell, quite well known in the Vets League, running his Proper Gear Motorsport livery. And who else have we got who haven't mentioned? Dave Kirby's back, of course, the famous Big Fish, of course, himself. Tim Mulford's back with us, Zach McDonald. And we've mentioned Jared Filsell, Richie Stenaway, and see how they're just crawling around that one. Robbie Bradbury was the other one from Pacific Motorsport.
And we've also got Riley Bilson from 95 Simsport. Michael Angus returns. Brady Baldwin's back after a bit of an absence. So, yeah, lots of old and familiar faces and quite a few new names as well. So it should be a cracking start to the season.
Shout out Sean Rigby, who's having a season off, but still coming along to support, which is great to see. As these lads now starting to get going here and heating up the pace a little bit. As jump on board with Dylan Gray. We might have a look where, of course, Jared Filsell is. He's about to start his lap. We might ride on board here. Of course, Jared, the reigning Logitech G Pro Champion Series champion. Let's see what he can do here. Coming into turn one. See how close they come to these walls. Absolutely running millimetre perfect. A little bit of wheel spin coming out of 3. Using all the curb there and then some. Being off camber 2 makes it rather difficult. Down. Don't want to let it run too wide out of here. Does a beautiful job holding that on. Another corner here where you've got to use that inside curb on the right. Makes the most of it. A little bit of manhandling, but Jared doing very well here. Rolls it through. Sets the nose up. Tuck it in tight, pull it up, get as wide as you can. Make this corner as tight as possible. Power down. Nicely through the hairpin. Nice acceleration. What can Jared Filsell do here? Let's see what the timing board says. Only P4. Hobson, Ross and Jones in front. So, very interesting run there from Filsell.
Yeah, good banker lap there from Jared. I was watching James Scott on his first run too. Got caught up with a little bit of traffic, so probably wasn't the ideal lap for James, but they've both put in bankers, which is an important way to start the night, and we'll see them both come in, get some fresh boots and get back out there again. But Cam Jones currently only driver in the 17s at the moment with a 1:17.986. Currently on pole position, so I'm sure Cameron is quite happy with that first lap he's put out.
And still waiting for a few boys to get a time in. We've still got Kirby, Freya, Watson, Kostecki, Mel Powell and Christian Smart to set a lap. Of course, one of the things that we didn't mention before, we have a new chief steward this week, or this season, this series. Reg James taking the senior role, which is good to see. As Jordan Ross now heads back out to have another crack at the circuit. Of course, you got to make sure you leave a little bit of space in front and not let it impede anyone else on an on a hot lap. I think Tim Mulford's the only guy who possibly might be. Dave Baldock saying he's never heard of Reg James. Sheltered lifestyle, Mr. Baldock. And Mulford. Let's see what Jordan can do. Of course, had a cracking season last season, finishing second in the championship. Shout out to Sean McNamara as well out in the chat. So only 6.5 minutes down here in qual. These boys definitely still going to heat it up a fair bit. Big shout out Dave Coleman as well. Look at taking that deep high line there to try and get as much drive down as you can. And let's see what Jordan Ross can do here tonight. Coming down into turn one. There's coming down. Through turn one goes Jordan Ross. Coming down around the fountain section. Need to keep it tight. Need to make it work through here. White camera, I think. Definitely gets himself around the fountain section. Down the back straight. Jordan looking very stable here, looking like he might be on a bit of a lap. Kostecki going purple. It's Brody Kostecki jumps to the top of the list. Yep, Blake Warboys not with us this evening, Stewie. Focusing quite heavily on his karting commitments of late. Soft engine noises on the camera, so not much I can do about some of these. Let's see what Jordan Ross can do here. Comes across the stripe. He doesn't improve, or does a little bit. And jump on with Phil Cell.
Brenton Hobson jumps in front of Jordan Ross there.
He's done very well. Good work from Hobbo. Work out what's happened to my camera noise here.
James Scott to the top with a 1 minute 17.606. So starting the season where he finished off last season in P1. So we'll see if that can hold up with 6 minutes to go left in this qualifying session.
And here comes Jared. Went yellow in that third sector, so don't think he's going to have the pace to knock the other boys off. Might pump himself up the order a little bit. Wait for the stripe to tick over into P3 for Phil Cell. So the big names starting to gather at the top, Mark.
Yeah, no real surprises there, John. There's certainly some quality drivers there, and we see them at the head of most races they feature in. So not surprising to see them do exactly the same thing here tonight.
Jump on Brady Baldwin. Very striking livery there from the Synergy Sim Racing team. Of course, 9 minutes 50 gone. So definitely clock ticking down for a few of these boys. Baldwin on an outlap. Kostecki, he's on the outlap as well. See what Brody can do. Phil Cell must have gone again, has he? Let's have a look. He has gone again. Gone purple in the third sector. So they have a little bit of sync from everybody else. So Jared about to cross the line. Can he jump Brody? No, straight into the pits. These boys making their way into pit lane at the moment. So we just continue on everything else. A few boys on their outlap. Brody's on his outlap here. So we've got just over 4 minutes to go. So these boys on their outlap, this will be their last crack at it. The very wide line to get himself around. And here we go. Brody Kostecki. Turn one. 2 purple sectors this lap. Green sector. Final sector now. I think Kostecki's going to go quicker here. And a little bit slow coming out of the hairpin. Doesn't get the job done. Jump on with James Scott. He's coming in through the fountain. Yeah, might just have a quick look where Phil Cell is. Jump on with Jared. I think on a hot lap here now. Say Kostecki and Scott have done as much as they can, so it's going to come down what Phil Cell can do.
Yeah, Brody only really made one small error on that lap out of the hairpin that cost him, so just goes to show you cannot afford not a single mistake if you want to grab pole round here in this series.
Big puffer lock up there from Phil Cell. Keeps it under control though, keeps it very well balanced. And heading down the back straightaway, he's gone a purple sector. Hides the curve a bit there, coming through. As we saw, this is where Kostecki lost it. Pulls it up. It's powered down. And crosses the stripe. Doesn't go any quicker. Looks like Scott, Kostecki, Fussell, Cameron, Jones, Hobson, Briggs going to be the order. Riley Bilson might still be on a lap. Might let this play out a little bit as we roll through the rest of it. We've only got about 25 seconds to go here in quali. And that's the time over. It looks like Bilson's bailed out of that one. Out of the way of Hobson. What can Hobbo do? Yep, Hobbo is done as well. So I think the boys might all just about be done here. We'll just try and follow who's still on track to see if someone is still putting a lap in. Mulford. So Timmy's back, of course, from Phoenix Motorsport. Timmy coming across the stripe. Does he improve? Comes up into P15, gets above Schultz. It's a bit of a move there.
Yeah, well done to Timmy Mulford. That was a good lap.
Craig's cruising around. Michael Angus is cruising around. And Gordon Ross is on an outlap. So I think that just about seals the deal for our grid, I think. Wait for the session to roll out. So the quality's come to the top. Our reigning champion, James Scott, P1. Pretty happy with that. Kostecki and Phil Cell behind. So some pretty impressive guys chasing him. So you can see what he can actually achieve as we roll through. I'm not sure what Jordan's doing. Boys rolling around. Good to have Michael Angus back with us. Well, so let's have a quick look at this grid. as they start to form up. So the man on poles, we said, with a 1:17.607 is James Scott, and 200th of a second behind him, sharing the front row, of course, is Brody Kostecki. Then we move on to Jared Filsell sharing the front row 2 alongside Cameron Jones. And then we have Brenton Hobson and Adam Briggs on the third row. Fourth row, we see James Ross and Brady Baldwin. So the Synergy boys locking out a couple of rows there. Then on the next row, we've got 9.5 Sim Sports Riley Bilson alongside Richie Stanaway. And then we have Zach McDonald alongside Damien Johnston on the 6th row. And over the page, we go to Michael Taliancic from Altus Australia in 13th, alongside Michael Angus from Fishy Motorsports. Jimmy Mulford from Phoenix Racing in 15th, alongside Craig Schultz in 16th. 17th is Fishy Motorsports' Dave Kirby, alongside the Robbie Bradbury from Pacific Esports Racing. Dylan Gray from SLM in 19th. Chris Smart from Synergy Sim Racing is 20th. Will Munro from Simrigs Infinity Motorsports in 21st. Mal Powell from Dropper Gear Motorsports in 22nd. Robert Crow from Simrigs Infinity Motorsports in 23rd. And Tyrone Walsh is 24th. And over the page on the grid, we then have Tom Freer, who hasn't set a time. And then we've got Sebastian, of course, as part of our race control team. Josh Strage is in race control tonight as well with Reds James. Richie Burrell's our safety car driver. Gunther is part of race control, and Ross Watson didn't set a time. That is our grid, Mark.
Yeah, very interesting grid. Certainly going to be a critical start for James on the from pole position. We all know what it's like funneling into that fountain and turn one and then into the fountain. So, yeah, very critical start to the opening round of the season for these boys.
Yeah, it's a tough place to come and race, isn't it? See it all the time into that fountain area. Definitely one line through. Sometimes you come out of turn 1, 2 or 3 wide. Quite scary. But we'll see what these boys can do. Of course, we've got 25 cars starting on the grid at the moment. So hopefully these guys can all get safe passage through. That's all right.
Big shout out to Tim Nicol too if he's watching.
Yeah, Timmy.
We've shared some moments around this track, me and Timmy.
That's right. I was just thinking that. I wasn't going to say it. Yeah, that hairpin can be really tricky. So these boys about to get going here. And we're gridding now. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. Lights out. We're away. A little bit of a lock up there. Oh, sorry, slow start from Cam Jones, putting him back in the pack that little bit. But coming down the front, it is side by side between Kostecki and James Scott. James Scott with the inner line here. Can he hold it? Looks like he's through. And Kostecki gets in front of Scott. Bilsell comes in to set third spot. And Hobson gets a jump up with Briggs as well. Looking like everyone's got through around the fountain, which is a great start for these guys.
Excellent work by all the drivers there, and great car positioning there from Brody Kostecki. You saw him just hang in there, and he eventually forced James to yield, and he's been able to take the lead. So great start from the boys at the front, and congrats to all the boys following through as well, because it's not an easy place to get through.
Yeah, he's definitely done very well, and everyone's sort of starting to settle in.
Hearing Dylan Gray requesting a tow.
Dylan Gray, just trying to find out what's happened there. Now crashed. Michael Angus, everyone's a bit of an incident, so lit up like Christmas tree. And safety car is on track. So we are under yellow flag at the moment. So that was a very interesting start. They're not sure what happened. Of course, the safety car this season brought to us from complete scaffolding. Sales higher in labour.
Looks like he's popped his engine there, going into turn 5 or 6, I think.
Right, yeah, coming out through the corner there. Just stops away. A little bit unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely not the way you want to start your season here in Season 8 with the East Coast Series, but he's got plenty of time throughout the season to recover, and he does get a fast repair, so he can still get back out there and cut some laps.
And of course, probably won't be the only time we see the safety car around this place. Quite well known for them.
I believe we've only got 2 sets of tyres for the race, so drivers are going to again watch how they execute their strategy.
Yeah, definitely got to be thinking about that. So 2 sets of tyres, 2 compulsory pit stops, 25 incident points, unlimited fuel, 1 fast repair as Mark said. So the boys definitely going to be quite busy around the place at the moment. Not sure what's happened to my SDK. Decided to play up on me. Back on live pictures. Safety car, everyone diving into the pits though, getting that first one out of the way. It is a freebie.
Yeah, we've got a few pitted already. I'm not sure about James Scott and Brody.
At the moment, I think they've all gone in. We've got Zach McDonald and Tim Mulford on the leaderboard at the top at the moment. There's Zach from 95 Sim Sports, Tim Mulford from Phoenix Racing. So, interesting strategy choice, like we said. Yeah, sorry, Sean. Like we said, it was an opportunity for these boys to get that first stop out of the way. So these first 3 cars, Mal Powell's the other one who hasn't pitted. And then everyone else has taken the opportunity to get that stop out of the way. Let's quickly jump on the pit strategy board so we can see there. So Briggs, Stanaway, Bilson, Munro went in at the end of the first lap. So 95 Sim Sports, Zach McDonald's going to lead the field away when the safety car pulls away. And Richie's off. Quite down the end of the straight there. So keep an eye on the board here. Waiting to see when McDonald goes. We're going to save it to the hairpin. Of course, keep an eye out for concertina effect at the back of all these boys. As McDonald is away. Nicely gets the job done. Zach McDonald leads the field through turn 1. And they got a little bit of a jump from Adam Briggs. Adam Briggs dropped back a little bit. Stanaway tucked up behind Briggs.
Yeah, we saw Malpal dive into the pits at the end of that safety car in lap, and I think just trying to get out of the way of all these big name drivers. So well done to Malpal. He knows where he's racing and what he's doing. So yeah, just deciding to get out of the way of these faster guys.
Yeah, that's all we can really do with that in terms of those faster guys. Might be about the best I can do for you, Stephen, and getting that sound a bit better. Marking myself down. But these boys, now it's about to start lap 5. Zach McDonald, Tim Mulford, Adam Briggs. Let's have a look where Kostecki and Scott are. They're sitting back in 6th and 7th. Bilsell tucked up behind those lads as well. The 3 big names running at the back there. Back at 6, 7 and 8. And Will Munro sitting in Super 2, boys. He's up 7 spots in 14th. And got his pit stop out of the way. Well, it's still a long way to go with this strategy here. Of course, Will Munro has just been an instant. Let's have a look. Might have just done the old commentator's curse, Mark.
Well, kicked the season off right.
Let's see. Oh, well, no. Only rubs the fence, but it'll take him a little bit to get himself out there. Sort this one out. And jump back up here, Kostecki. He's tucked right up behind Riley Bilson, making Riley work hard for it here. And he's going to go back a little bit further. Have a look at Cameron Jones. Sort of shuffled himself. He's down 8 spots. Keep an eye on the 9.5 Sim Sports driver. He will be definitely fighting his way back towards the front as this race continues. And of course, Tom Freo, who started rear grid, he's up 7 spots. I'm quite well known for being able to work his way through a field, keeping all the pressure on Craig Schultz at the moment.
Yeah, Tom loves his pit lane starts and yeah, making his way through the field. But Zach Mack out front at the moment, doing an excellent job. Got Timmy Mulford in 2nd place with Adam Briggs closing in very quickly on Timmy Mulford at the moment. And we've got Richie Stanaway, Riley Bilson, Brady Kostecki, James Scott, Jared Feisel, Renton Hobson and Jordan Ross rounds out your top 10.
Yeah. Of course, still a long way to go. Only 6 of 64.
Still a lot of laps to get through, and just a reminder that everybody's got to manage these tyres because you only get the starting set and one other set, even though there's 2 compulsory stops. So really got to manage your tyre wear around here. Especially
considering what a lot of 90-degree corners and the hairpin, where it's very easy to spin those rears up. These boys will be working very hard to look after their gear. Timmy Mulford under a fair bit of pressure from Briggsy now. Briggs getting by.
Timmy just making it pretty easy there for Adam to get through. He probably realised his number was up and decided to just show a bit of caution and let Adam go through and follow Adam for a few laps and try and maybe pick up and get back onto the back of Zach McDonald.
Yeah, of course, got that menacing group a bit further back behind Bilson, Kostecki, Scott, Bilsell.
Yeah, certainly not going to get any easier for Timmy Mulford, that's for sure. He's got a lot of big names behind him, but he's doing a great job at the moment.
It's Timmy, one of the Super 2 drivers as well, so not quite battling with those boys. So he'll be thinking of Bilson and Angus. Got to do a little bit of homework on Bilsell to clean that. Bilson's shuffling backwards there. He's just lost a couple of spots. Probably the same thing again. Throwing caution to the wind, letting the faster drivers through.
The last lap around, the fastest Adam Briggs, James Scott, Brent Hobson was cracking last lap, he was in the 18. Plenty of pace out there, but the fastest lap of the race so far goes to Jared Faisal at 18.059. So plenty of speed in the cars out there, even though they're trying to manage their tyre wear.
Bilson, Jordan Ross, no love lost there. Steve Murray, I think the left matches the right now. So definitely some hard racing going on. Just going to jump back up here with these boys. Kostecki under a lot of pressure from James Scott and Phil Sell. Them all trying to work their way through the hairpin. Up 10 of 64 now. Wilson in pit lane, so obviously a little bit of damage from that turn one scrap with Jordan Ross.
Yeah, 2 into 1 at turn 1 doesn't often end well, so yeah, bad luck there for Riley. I think Jordan was well up the inside there, so don't know that there was a lot Jordan could have done, but it's bad luck for Riley. Hopefully he hasn't got too much damage. He has got a fast repair.
Made the most of it. And continuing on. Going to go back down the pack a little bit and have a quick look how Cameron Jones is getting on. He's still down 8 spots there in 12th. But Michael Angus keeping the pressure on behind him.
That was bad luck from Cameron, a little bit of a tardy getaway, and just goes to show you, like, you miss something like that at the start and yeah, it just buries you back in the pack, and it's definitely not the easiest place to execute passes around here. So you got a lot of work ahead of him for the rest of the night, but Cam's a very capable driver and he's in a great team, and I'm sure he'll do his utmost to make his way forward.
Richie Stenaway just had a slow exit out of the hairpin, which has allowed Stecky and Scott just to really tuck up behind. Of course, Richie running the Penrite colours this week. Getting in third. It's a fairly good drive. Of course, Richie, very busy boy a couple of weekends ago at Bathurst. Congratulations to himself and SVG. While congratulating people, big happy birthday to Ash Barella as well.
Yeah, shout out to Ash, happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah, not racing tonight, doing family duties, as you'd expect. Shuffle back, check on Hovo, Brendan Hobson. He's tucked right up behind Tim Mulford now. And Hobson looking to make the move, moving himself up into 7th. And Zach McDonald under pressure from Briggsy. Briggsy on the inside. Not an easy corner to get the move done, but he's made it work. A new race leader. I might just have a quick look at pit time when the boys all went in as well. Just want to have a quick look what Briggs was. Briggs was 4.7, so he was a little bit longer than Stenaway and Kostecki. And then Scott was 5.5, Phil Sell 5.2, Hobson 5.7. Robbie Bradbury down in 19th with 17 seconds in his last stop. So some interesting numbers in there. So just going to keep an eye. These three boys still running together. This Kostecki, Scott, Crane have had another accident. We'll have a quick look what's happened to Mal Powell. Supercheap Auto replay. This is coming down the back straightaway. And just misses his braking marker, takes the runoff. Smart move. Live to play another day. Okay, there's this battle here. He's going to jump back down. Damien Johnstone. He's under a fair bit of pressure here. He's got Cam Jones and Mike Taliancic tucked up behind him. Of course, Brady Baldwin just in front. So definitely lap 14 now. These boys would be looking to try and get themselves, I think, to about lap 32 on these first set of tyres. Of course, this place very tough on tyres, as say the least.
Pretty tough on panels too, John.
Yeah, those walls, they don't give, do they? A Stone. Bit racy here. Synergy boys. Brushing the wall as we go through. They're talking about rubbing panels. Going to jump on with Zach McDonald. He's dropped off the back of Briggsy here a little bit. We can see Stenaway starting to close that gap to the back of the young 9.5 Sim Sports driver.
Taking quite a few laps for these boys to actually close in on Zach Mack as well, so he's done an excellent job maintaining his positions out there.
Yeah, he's done very well. Of course, a place like this is one thing to catch someone, it's another thing to get past.
One gets a feeling this race is really going to be decided by pit strategy, as it's so difficult to pass and there's so many drivers here who are so equal on pace.
Absolutely. See Richie Zach McDonald in a drag down the main straightaway. And Kostecki has a look on the inside in the turn one, gets the job done. Scott and Phil Cell now be trying to look for a way through.
Yeah, definitely not what James Scott wanted to see there with Richie Stanaway and Brody Kostecki finding their way through on Zach. Looks like James is going to get the job done here.
Yeah, and Jared goes through as well. But some good driving. Been leading those boys for quite a few laps. Young Zach McDonald. Sean McNamara will be pretty impressed with how his young charger's going here. As might just go back down again. Have a look on Damien Johnstone, Brady Baldwin battle. These guys starting to bunch up a bit. Mike Taliancic, of course, now racing under the Altus Australia banner. Great to see Altus back again in the V8 ranks. Sim racing in Australia. Of course, quite well known for representing Australia, of course, in the Porsche Cup Series. Likes of young Jordan Caruso. I think a few other guys like Jabe Stewart have been trying to qualify for the 2024 season.
Yeah, absolutely great to have him back. I'm sure Michael Taliancic is enjoying driving that green and gold car as well.
It definitely would be. Brady Baldwin under a lot of pressure though. Cam Jones.
Yeah, we saw Damien Johnson's got through on Brady, and now Brady's under pressure from Cam Jones, and Cam Jones under pressure from Michael Taliancic.
Yeah, definitely a few good battle packs up and down the grid. Going to quickly check on our current Super 2 champion, of course, Craig Schultz. He's battling away back in 17th. Got Michael Angus up the road in front of him, who he's probably going to get back onto. Of course, he's tucked up behind the infamous Dave Kirby from Fishy Motorsports. Prolific driver as Curbs. And Jones still under all that pressure. Might just jump back up the front. Richie Stanaway's closed that gap down. He's about a second and a half now behind Briggs for the lead. Of course, he's got Kostecki, Scott and Phil Cell in tow.
Yeah, well, all them boys are about 0.8 of a second quicker than Adam Briggs on that previous lap, so not surprising to see that gap starting to tumble.
Yeah, you definitely know there is a big swarm behind him coming. Just going to have a quick look. Robert Crow has been involved in something. We're just going to have a quick look on the Supercheap Auto replay of the Simrig Infinity Racing driver. Okay, this is coming into the hairpin. And this goes a little bit too wide. Slows down. That's one of the cars through. Might have been Riley Bilson working his way back through the pack. Richie Stanaway holding off Kostecki. He's going to try and keep abreast of things. He's going to jump off Jordan Ross. I think he's caught up to Zach McDonald now. He's looking to make the move into turn 7. Nicely tucks up and gets it through. And Kostecki is closing that gap down every lap. Stanaway, so I see these boys starting to pull away a little bit from the rest behind. Hobson's 2 seconds behind this pack. Impressive. Adam Briggs, of course, up 5 spots to be our race leader. Stanaway's up 8 spots. And these boys, as we're settling in now, they're starting to think ahead towards their next fuel stop. Tyres, probably trying to make sure they go as far as they can. Saying before, we might see another safety car. Anything is possible here at Long Beach.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure Brenton Hobson's hoping these boys in front will keep battling away. He's slowly reeling them in. He was a little bit quicker than the boys in front on that previous lap. Not by a lot, but he'll take any sort of gain he can get at the moment, I'm sure. So he was pretty quick in qualifying as well. He's down 1 spot, so he qualified in 5th. So he's well and truly on the pace tonight.
They're doing very well. And Stanaway now 0.4 behind Briggs. Briggsy not making too many mistakes here. Keeps the pressure. Drives cleanly. He should be able to hold these boys off for a fair while longer.
Yeah, we're on lap 21 of 64, so edging our way towards that halfway mark when the boys will start considering when they're going to throw on that second set of fresh rubber.
And of course, you do have that ability to get out of the tow if you think you're being held up by these boys. Find a gap. There are a few starting to open up on the track map. You might be able to peel off, get your stop out of the way.
Just saw Jared Faisal get past James Scott going into turn 1. Not sure if James got a poor exit off the hairpin, but Faisal is now up into P4.
See what Jared can do, hunting down these boys in front of him. And just about to mention, of course, Tom Freer. He's got himself past Dave Kirby. He's now up into 14th, up 11 spots. So a great effort from Tom Freer again. And just going to have a quick look while we stay on this one. We'll just pop back up to the front because that's a great little battle unfolding up here. And of course, we did say Jared Filsell closing down the cars in front of him. Low down shot here gives you a really good appreciation of why it's a concrete jungle. Every corner there's a wall you're going to put the car right next to. Very little margin for error.
Yeah, absolutely right, John. No margin for error, and such a tough place under acceleration too. A lot of them, like you say, 90-degree corners. Car just wants to slip out from under you pretty much on every exit, it feels like, and you've only got to miss by a couple of centimetres, and that concrete wall's absolutely waiting there to bite.
Nice. The old front splitter cam on Jared Filsell's car, giving a very, very good up-close look at Brady Kostecki suspension. These boys driving very close to each other and doing a magnificent job of it.
Jordan Ross, the fastest man on track that previous lap with a 1 minute 19.312. About a tenth quicker than all the drivers ahead of him. So Jordan still showing he's got some good form from carrying on from last season where he finished P2 in the championship.
Yeah, so he's hunting down Hobbo in front of him. And Damien Johnstone, he might be about to get swamped here. Or Mulford, sorry, he's side by side. This looks like a bit of a racy battle. Cam Jones having a bit of a look up the inside, too wide. Oh. And Filsell into the pits as well. I was going to stay in this battle for a bit. Too wide into the hairpin.
The boys did very well to get around that hairpin then. That was looking very ugly for a moment, but they all managed to get through there unscathed.
Yeah, done very well. And Tim Mulford here doing a really good job battling away with these boys. See Michael Taliancic down the back there, and Cam Jones too wide into the fountain now. And they get through.
Yeah, Cam a bit sideways coming out of the fountain there and just rubbed a panel with Mike Taliancic, but they both managed to live on to fight another day.
There's still not much in it. Still too wide again. Just some great little battle. These boys have carried this on for a lap. Tom Freer, he's having a look now. He wants a part of it. Michael Angus, the man leading our Super 2s series, on track at the moment. He's nicely sitting in the back of this as well. Still a long way to go though, 26 of 64. Oh, a little bit of a concertina.
Good tough racing there from all them boys involved in that. It was pretty scary there for a while.
Hey, definitely plugging away. Just gonna jump. There you go, Mark.
Yeah, sorry, John. I was about to say, and it's definitely not over amongst these boys either. So, yeah, definitely going to be one to watch.
Yeah, keep a bit of an eye on. That's going to have a quick look where Filsell's come out. He's come out in 19th after that stop. So he's got a bit of work to do. Hasn't got too many cars in front of him. Once he gets past Gray, should have a pretty clear track. He'd be looking to get some good clean laps ticking over at the moment. Stanaway is now our race leader. Adam Briggs has been swamped by these boys.
Yeah, it's a pretty brave move there from Jared Purcell, pitting on lap 26, I think it was. So not even halfway yet. So he's feeling quite confident that he's got the pace in the tyres to manage to keep them going for 36 laps or 34 laps or whatever it is. So be interesting to see where he pops out in regards to the other boys once they make their second stop, because that's a pretty early stop, I would think.
Yeah, I'm just curious on that. And you see Kostecki having a look on Stenaway. Stenaway a bit slow out of the corner. So we're going to have a new race leader, I think. Here comes Brody Kostecki. Too wide. Tell you what, James Scott, our reigning champion, he wants to get into a piece of this as well. So absolutely flying as we start lap 28. Mac, he's pitted as well. And what does Richie do? He has a bit of a sneaky look. Puts it back away. James Scott nicely tucked up behind. Got the box seat to watch these two battle.
Yeah, the one thing James Scott doesn't want to see is Brody Kostecki start to stretch his legs here, so he's going to have to really hope Richie can hang on to Brody, and if he can't, then James is going to have to find his way through. But Richie's done an outstanding job pretty much every race he's been with us, including the end of last season, and we all know what a quality driver is. So yeah, going to be an interesting few laps here before this next pit stop cycle gets underway.
Adam Briggs hasn't really dropped too far off behind these boys. Hobson's closed the gap a bit, so these guys are battling. Hobson now within a second of Briggs. Gordon Ross has come along for the ride as well. He's closed the gap up to Hobson. Alford into the pits.
Out of interest there, on the last lap, Jared Feisel did an 18.551. The next quickest was Brody with a 1:18.939. Everybody else is in the 19s, so about half a second of gain there for Jared. So if he can maintain some pace in a clear track, he may find himself, he will end up with some track position with these boys. So he's just got to be able to maintain that pace for the next 5 or 6 laps without too much traffic in his way, and yeah, he might just be able to jump ahead of these boys.
Yeah, I was just about to say he's got 7 seconds to get to Bradbury up the road, so he's definitely got a clean track, so it could be very interesting. Like Richie's still battling away here. Under pressure from Scott now, so Kostecki's managed to walk away. He's got that gap out bigger than a second. Of course, James Scott, he keeps battling here with Stanaway. Bring Briggs and Hobson's back into the fight. He's going to have a quick check on how Craig Schultz is getting on. Our reigning Super 2 champion. So he's sitting back in 13th. Of course, Angus just in front of him. Up the road a little bit in 11th. Hey, yeah, Craig been battling with Kirby for a fair while. Mike Taliancic, Cam Jones, that battle has backed off a little bit. Cam's got away a little bit from Michael. Tom Freya definitely keeping Tally fairly busy. And just go back up. The next battle pack we've got on track, of course, is the Richie Stanaway, James Scott. They've allowed another 4/10ths for Kostecki to walk away here. So need to keep an eye on the Kostecki lap times. His last lap was a 1:18.97. And, of course, Phil Sell was a 1:18.63. So still ticking over some quick times.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I'm James Scott here, I'm pitting, because if I'm watching Brody walk away, it's very difficult to make a big gap up like that on track. He's better off doing it in the pits. So Richie Stanaway pits, so he's cleared the way for James now.
Well, that is going to be interesting. We thought James Scott might have been the one to make that first move out of those boys. Interesting, Richie rolling out. And we're just going to keep an eye on this little pit exit here. So Phil Sell, he's rolling through. And he's going to jump on board Stanaway. He's not even rolling yet. So very interesting time ahead here. So Stanaway's rolling. Where he's going to come out. Here he comes. And Phil Sell, of course, is already passed.
It's a huge game for Jared. So that call to pit early was obviously the right call. So he's going to jump everybody by the look of it. That's what my prediction is. He's got clear track in front of him still. He's got good tyres underneath him. He's going to run out of tyres at the end compared to the other boys, but as we've seen around here, track position's king, and it's very difficult to make a move, especially getting past the quality drivers like Jared, James Scott, Brody Kostecki. They're not easy to get past around here. So I'm saying Jared's made a very good call there to pit early.
Yeah, I think it might have paid off. As Hobson and Angus have both run into the pits. It's going to jump up with James Scott. But James has gone another lap again. So if you're James, you just decide to play the long game now and hope you... That's the question.
Yeah, and it wasn't a very good lap from James last time round. He was 1 minute 20.066, and Jared Weissel has just done a 1:18.639. So there's a big difference there. It's a second and a half.
Yeah, that is huge. That is huge. Phil Sell still running around as well. Finally caught up to Bradbury.
Yeah, he's just starting to come up on some traffic now, so this could halt his progress, but we know how aggressive and forceful Jared can be in traffic. And if I'm any of these boys in front, I'd be moving well out of the way.
And Scott and Briggs into the pits. So Scott has come in a little bit earlier, obviously splitting the difference, I think. Getting a little bit worried like us, noticing Phil Sell's lap times. These boys definitely battling it out. And Bradbury nicely rolling out wide through the hairpin to let Phil Sell through. Christian Smart, the next man up the road, and Phil Sell is going to blow by James Scott and Adam Briggs here. Both those cars still on the jacks. So, just definitely see Steve Murray thinking there might have been some damage to James Scott. So if there was, definitely have it repaired. See what he can do. So Brody Kostecki, still the man out in front. 6 seconds up the road from Jordan Ross.
Richie Sanaway was able to just sneak past James Scott into turn one there as James came out of the pit lane. So probably one lap too many there from James.
Yeah, definitely. See what tyres warm up. Scott will probably try and get back at him. See, he's using all the track edges. There's a bit of a look on the inside. Let Stenaway know you're there. Hey, James Scott. Tucked up behind Stenaway. And goes a dive on the inside. Gets it done. So Scott is through.
Yeah, nice move there from James. He totally committed to that move, and Richie gave him the space to finish it off. So well done to both drivers.
And Kostecki rolling into the pits. Jordan Ross stays out. And he's going to keep an eye on Phil Sell. This is where the battle's going to be at. Phil Sell still coming down the back straight away. Plenty of space around him. Hasn't really had too many cars he's had to deal with. I think he's really only had 2 lapped cars and Bradbury. So he's been able to get some consistent lap times. Last lap was a 1:18.95. See what he rolls off this time. Shin Smart in front of him, peels off into the pits. Kostecki's at pit exit. So I think he's going to do that fairly easily. Kostecki just rolls out now. And he's going to be about 4 seconds up the road from James Scott. So definitely a bit of a battle to play out. Jared Philsell doing the undercut, getting the jump. As we talked about, track position is king. But will Philsell have the tyres to get him to the end? That is the question on lap 36 to 64. And might just bring up the pit strategy window. Around at home can have a look what everyone's done. Of course, we saw Jordan Ross, Chaliancic, Freya, Johnson, nearly everybody stopped under that first safety car very early on in the race. And we can see Phil Sell went for 22 laps and then came in. And see Kostecki 33. Bradbury went 33. Stenaway went 31. Scott went 31. Stenaway 30. So these boys definitely need to settle in, look after their gear as these laps start to tick down, get towards the end.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see how Jared's tyres hold up come the last half dozen laps of this race, because his tyres are 11 laps older than Brody's, so that's a fair amount in any stint. So but we know how good a driver Jared is, so he's not going to make it easy for anyone to get past him, especially if he's got a race win dangling in front of him.
Yeah, definitely would be working very hard to take that win. Great way to start the season. And Paliancic sitting in P2. Tom Freer up 22 spots, which is a great effort from Tom. Of course, these boys all still need to pit. So we've got Phil Sell, who is out of our 2 stoppers, is leading at the moment. You can see Kostecki in the background. I'll try and keep an eye on that gap. It's sitting at about 2.5 seconds at the moment. expecting that'll close as we get a bit further in.
Yeah, well, on them fresh tyres, John, Brody Kostecki's 7/10 quicker than Jared Feisel on that lap. So just goes to show you what new tyres are worth around almost any track. But yeah, that gap's going to come down pretty rapidly over the next few laps, and then it's up to Brody to see if he can find a way past.
Yeah, definitely shaping up. Jordan Ross peels off at his stop. Definitely shaping up, I think, for a battle at the end here, Mark. Just going to have a quick look at some of the other new guys. Riley Bilson, he's in 19th at the moment. He's down 10 spots, of course, caught up in a few things early on. Will Munro from Simrigs Infinity Racing. So he had a couple of incidents early on. He's still battling away in 21st. Tyrone Walsh, another one of the new ones from SLM Racing. Tyrone still circulating, doing well. Dylan Gray, his teammate, back in 23rd. And then, of course, a couple of the other vets boys. Robbie Crow, still circulating around in 24th, up one spot. And Mal Powell in 25th. Those guys all still running. A couple of the other newer names, of course, for this season we haven't seen for a while. Robbie Bradley, who was in 11th. Yeah, basically, quick look at how the new guys are going. As Michael Taliancic is now our race leader as the boys start to peel in for their second stops. Definitely Tom Frere tucked up behind him there. Briggsy, he is behind Brenton Hobson after his stop. These two boys, both from Synergy Sim Racing, both battle away quite well. And then, of course, Dunaway just up the road by 2 seconds. And then we did talk about that Jared Filsell Kostecki gap. That is already down to 1.6 seconds. So it is closing and closing quickly.
Yeah, about another 6/10 to Brody's favour on that last lap. So that's almost 1.5 seconds in 2 laps that he's been able to close that gap.
And Brady Baldwin peels off in front of him into his pit stop. So basically leaving now only Taliancic and Freer to make their second stop. So lap 40 is 64, 24 to go. Only a 200k race. 200k's around this place. Would feel like 300k's.
Yeah, definitely a very taxing circuit, physically and mentally, especially mentally. You really don't get a break around here. You got to keep your wits about you the whole time because, as we've mentioned before, there's not many places where you can afford to make a mistake and it doesn't hurt you.
That's exactly right. Don't get much of a mental break as that physical break. As see Craig Schultz there, just being passed by Kirby. Brady Baldwin after his stop, tucked up behind these boys. A little battle happening back here. And it's going to go back up the front. Tom Freer keeping the pressure on Michael Taliancic. Done that for most of the night.
And I'm sure their boys wishing there was a safety car right now.
Oh, yeah. Be the game plan here. Be go as long as you can, hoping for the safety car. And hope the call comes right at the right time where you can get in real quick. Of course, Michael Taliancic, as we know from Vets and Scops and various other series, is a very, very clever racer. Very good with fuel strategy and fuel saving. And leads another lap. Going to jump down. See Kostecki. He is definitely now getting up behind Philsell. So we did say that this battle would heighten up towards the end. We're a little bit sooner than I was thinking. Just keep an eye on that. I reckon Kostecki will be happy to sit behind Philsell for a little bit longer. Size him up. He's got 6.7 seconds up the road from Scott, so it's still a fair gap behind them. Definitely shaping up for a good scrap, I think.
Yeah, of course, if we do see these boys tangle, James Scott is going to be right there to pounce on them. So these boys need to play it smart, and if the positions there are up for grabs, then the other protagonist needs to give some space. But we know how tough these boys race, and they don't give anything for free. So we've still got 22 laps to go, so there's still a chunk of racing to happen before we decide the winner of this one.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, Tyrone Walsh, bit of lap traffic. Right. Traffic could still become a factor in this race as well.
Yeah, without a doubt, and congratulations to Tyrone there. Racing smart. We did see both drivers get up on two wheels there.
Yeah, definitely having a crack. And I'm just going to quickly go. I've got information here. Supercheap Auto replay. Something's happened to Michael Taliancic. He's coming down the back straightaway into there. Little bit of a tap from Freya. I'm not sure exactly what happened. Leave that one up the race control. But the car is straight and still running. And Kostecki showing the nose on Philsell.
Yeah, this battle heating right up between these two.
Taliancic dives into the pits now as well. Different lines as Kostecki's passed.
Jared opened up to get a better exit there, and he has got some speed on Brody down here.
Yeah, it's not over. Side by side, down into one. Timmy Mulford's had a mishap as well. We might just go have a look at that in a second. Let these guys settle a little bit. We might just jump on Mulford's crash. Cheap Auto replay. What's happened to Timmy? Not sure who's behind him. They've gone a bit of a late lunge. One of the fishy cars, probably Angus, I think. So leave that one for race control. That might be a bit of a commentator's curse too. I was sitting there thinking those boys have had an easy night. As Kostecki now has pulled out a little bit from Philsell. Going to go back, check on Adam Briggs. He's got Jordan Ross and Hobson. These boys definitely having a real crack here. And going to jump back on Brady Scott. These two boys haven't. Philsell's come back at him here. And this isn't all over yet for the shouting.
We know these boys are like dogs with a bone. Once they have got something in their mouth, they ain't going to give it up very easily. So don't expect Jared to just give this away for the next 19 laps. He's going to fight for every inch of space he can and try and keep the pressure up on Brody for the whole time.
Definitely a good little battle.
Of course, last lap round with these two battling, James Scott was able to peg back a second on him. So they keep this up. James Scott might join this battle in no time soon.
Plenty of time still. We're about to start lap 47 of 64. So plenty of time left. And see these guys using every inch of the track. Car positioning is meticulous.
Top three finally pits. Lap 47.
Yeah, I was starting to think how far he could go. You happy with that? And of course, Kostecki now takes the race lead away. I'm pitting. Going to go back. That battle between Briggs and Ross, that's still tightening on. See Richie Stenaway just in the front of these guys now, so they've caught up to him. Hobson got Mulford. It'll lack traffic, but Hobson would be able to see that car in front of him. Slowly closing that gap. And going to go back a little bit further. Dave Kirby's in a little bit of a battle here as well. Christian Smart. These guys have been fighting away pretty hard for a fair while now. And Tom Freer has come back out with a new set of tyres and a little bit of panel rubbing with Michael Taliancic. A little bit of fun and games there, I think. We just caught the end of it. Can't be too much in it. Show up in my system. Going to jump back up on Kostecki. Kostecki now under pressure again from Phil Cell. Seems that Jared backs off a little bit, pull those tyres down, and then comes back at him, keeping the pressure on. So these boys, only 3.8 seconds up the road from James Scott. He's got himself 8 seconds up the road from Stanaway. It's on the radio, not sure what that was for.
He's just saying thank you to another driver, so clearly someone making some space for him.
I thought he might have been giving Richie the hurry up. Oh, where is that? Anyway, we'll see what Phil Cell can do here. I reckon he can come back at him.
And the top three lap times are incredibly close. Kostecki a 19.097, Fosell a 19.111, and James Scott a 19.100. So there's absolutely nothing in it between these three.
No.
Pace-wise.
No, absolutely flying, these boys. and they're consistently turning these laps out. Just going to go back at Michael Angus is in the pits. They're not sure what the go is there, whether that's a penalty from before or something else. Not getting any feed from race control tonight by the looks.
I have seen a drive-through issued, car number 205, was it?
Yeah, Michael Angus.
James with his first black flag of the series.
Oh, look out.
Never a nice thing to have to do when you're in race control, issue penalties, but that's what they're there for, to keep the driving as clean as possible.
Of course, Reg, a pretty fair driver himself. A pretty good understanding of how it all goes together. Mel Powell involved in an incident. Might have a quick look at that. Supercheap auto replay coming into the fountain. And just letting some traffic pass, pulling over. That's all it was. And that was, 205 pit lane penalty for contact on lap 85. Very lap 43. Read that read as well. And
yeah, and sorry, John, I was just going to say we should give Reg a big shout out for stepping up to take over race control, because it's never easy to find people to step into these roles. So a big thank you to Reg for stepping into that chief steward role.
it is very impressive to do and good to do. It's always good to give back a little bit to the sport that you enjoy. And oh, there we go. Yeah, it might have pumped up on the screen. I stepped away for half a second, getting rid of a massive spider at the back of my rig. Of course, big shout out to Scotty Van Loon. I'm sure the Rattler will be out watching this. He'd be loving these boys, the speeds that they're all carrying. Let's have a quick look how young Zach McDonald's getting on. He's back in 8/8. He's in the thick of traffic as well. He is hunting down Robbie Bradbury in front of him. So, of course, he has done really well tonight. And he's going to jump back up to Richie Stenaway. That battle pack is fairly tight. And Dave Coleman asking, was the headband off tonight for the Rattler? I'd probably say the headband was probably too tight the other night for the Rattler. I'll leave it at that. Poor old Scotty starting P1 and having the gear not set up correctly and all over and done with by turn 3. And Brody, that gap's closed right down again. So, of course, Kostecki would be Mr. Cool, Calm and Collected. We know Jared will be throwing the car in there any way he can. Seen these boys race before. Seen these boys race as teammates before as well, and I think in one of the Scops rounds.
Yeah, and we know how cool and calm collected Brody has been in real life racing this season. So he's not going to be an easy one to get past, that's for sure.
No, he's not. And these laps are ticking down as we're about to start 53.
Yeah, down to 12 to go. So, not a lot of laps left for these boys now.
Yeah, I reckon Jared would be starting to feel his tyres too, I think, from that early stop. Of course, Phil Sell pitted on lap 24, Kostecki on 35. It's a big difference there. Going to go back to Hobson. He's now starting to put the pressure on Richie.
James Scott picking up a bit of lap traffic here, which I'm sure will be frustrating him.
Yeah, never easy. That gap now out to about 9 seconds as well for James Scott. Hobson battling away here. Just going to go a little bit further back. Jordan Ross, he's sort of at the back of this train. And battling away pretty hard. And Kosteki's just about got that gap now out to a second for the lead. So it's not going to take much here for Ross and Briggs to be on the back of Hobson again.
Oh, Faisal with a big mistake at turn one.
Yep, let's go on a Supercheap Auto replay. Coming down. What's he done? Oh, he's missed his braking park marker. It's done very well to keep it off the walls in general, but that's going to hurt. That is going to hurt.
He's dropped from P2 down to P7, so very costly mistake there from Jared.
Very unusual mistake from Jared. Could have been the tyres as well. We should say he was stretching that friendship a little bit. So Kostecki now with a 4-second lead from James Scott.
So just keeping an eye on that battle with James Scott coming through that lap traffic. He lost nearly a second on one lap, so that would have been very frustrating for James that he didn't get some blue flag cooperation a little bit earlier in that lap, but that's racing.
Definitely is. It's run lap 55 or 64. And Kostecki now will be quite comfortable, I think. So he might jump back to the Hobson battle. Tucked up behind Stanaway still. And of course, Phil Sell 4 seconds back behind this group. Well, it was shaping up for a good battle. But he did say it was going to be a stretch with the tyres.
Yeah, like you said, John, he was probably stretching that friendship with his tyres there for a little bit too much. So, yeah, I'm actually not sure the tyres actually made a big role in that, but yeah, clearly missed his brake marker and yeah, was lucky to keep it off the wall in the end, but he's still up and running and I'm sure he'll be pretty annoyed with himself.
Yeah, I think he'll be a little bit disappointed. The race goes on, and we might have a quick look and jump on with our friend Craig Schultz, who's leading our Super 2s at the moment. A great effort from Craig.
Yeah, we saw last season Craig just a model of consistency and yeah, leading the way with that again tonight. So yeah, he's good operator, Craig, knows his limits, drives with his head, and yeah, he's just doing an outstanding job and carrying. Well, we've got a pile up here at the fountain.
The fountain, yeah, I just jumped on that. I think it starts with Mal Powell coming down through turn one. And just hit the wrong button again. And just waiting to see what happens. Whether he backs out onto this, I think. Here we go, yeah. The old you can't see blind corner.
James Scott is a big loser there. He's lost out to Brenton Hobson and Jordan Ross. Richie Stanaway loses out as well.
Yeah. Just jumping on with James Scott now. Still on the same incident. Should really get back to live pictures though. And, oh, yep, there's the rest of them there. Yep. Stanaway involved. James Scott, nowhere to go. Zach McDonald. Yep, so that's, yeah, huge. Get back to live pictures now. So, Kostecki, he's 5 seconds up the road from Hobson. Hobson into P2. We have a safety car, I think, do we, Mark?
See you shortly.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to rewind to find out what actually happened here.
Yeah. I think Richie Barella is heading out. Might try and do a little bit of the same.
Robert Crow had lost it at the fountain and got hit by Dave Kirby, and yeah, it just all backlogged from there. So yeah, bad luck for a lot of them boys.
Yeah, let's jump on the Supercheap Auto replay so we can pick it up on Kirby. Yeah, Crow had lost it. Kirby just clips the wall there, and of course you got a parking lot at the fountain. Oh, Stanaway almost had the gap to get through. And of course that just then compounds to the cars further behind. Someone nicely stuck through there. Still nowhere to go. That's not great, that one. Go back to live pictures. It is a tough track. It is a tough track.
Yeah, without a doubt, that one's yeah, been tough on some drivers and a godsend for other drivers. So feel a little bit bad there for James Scott. He hasn't done much wrong tonight and was sitting in second spot and now finds himself in fourth. So he's going to have probably about 5 laps to try and make his way back onto the podium. But Brody Kostecki looking pretty comfortable at the moment.
Yeah, Hobson moves into P2. He'd be a little bit chuffed with that, just quietly. Of course, a lot of cars involved in that. Big shout out to Pete Kelleher as well. Back for season 8 with us. As the complete scaffold safety car comes around. A couple of wave bys going on at the moment. Still got a car stuck there at the fountain. It'll take him a little bit here to get this sorted. And then we're going to be in for a real special dash home here. So some big losers out of that, as we talked about. You see Scott shuffled back a little bit. Richie Stanaway and Phil Sell. So the big winner, Hobson and Ross. Of course, Tom Freer up 15 spots in the top 10. Great drive from Thomas tonight. I'll probably say you're going to have another lap with the safety car.
Yeah, I think one more lap and then we're going to have a 5-lap sprint to the finish, which is probably going to be pretty intense, I would imagine.
Would be. Might have a quick look at that pit strategy box again, just so that everybody can see. So Kostecki was in on lap 33. Hobson was lap 30. So Hobbo, so I was a little bit older. Jordan Ross was on 36. He's got the younger tyres by a couple of laps. James Scott, he's about 25 laps old. Stanaway at 27. Phil Sell, 34 laps under his belt. And then, of course, Briggsy, Jones, Johnstone, Freer went in on lap 44. So Freer's tyres are only 12 laps old. So keep an eye out for Tom. Don't underestimate Tom Frere. See how far he can poke his nose into the top 10 here. There's the other one to watch out for, of course, will be Michael Taliancic as well. His lap tyres are only 15 laps old. So definitely a good little battle to come. Keep an eye on that Schultz Smart battle. Those two boys in the Super 2 series there, resuming the battle. As we continue on to get ready for this one. Race control, spec got everybody in check again. Of course, a big thank you too for our banner sponsor this season, West End Motor Group. They're back with us as well. Yes. The big AMG Mercedes decides to pull away. Very tentative driving from Richie Barella. It takes a shortcut in. So what will Kostecki do? Oh, a bit of a rev there. Bit of fun and games. Takes them all the way to the hairpin and through. Oh, here we go. Here we go, mate. It's going to carry him all the way here. Stecky's away. We're racing. Very interesting play. Take them all the way to the line. Too wide at the back. And Stanaway with the big move. Hobson, Jordan Ross shuffled all the way back to 7th.
I think Jordan missed the jump there a little bit. I heard somebody bag it up and got a whole bunch of wheel spins, so I'm not sure if that was Jordan.
So Kostecki, Stanaway, Hobson, Phil Sell in 4th. They're just going to shuffle the camera back a little bit. And Phil Sell with a bit of battle damage as well.
Jared's been able to make up 3 spots in a couple of 100 metres there.
Yeah. Nice little recovery. And continuing through, and we're about to start, 4 laps to go. Bit of an incident between Zach McDonald and Dave Kirby. It's going to quickly go to the replay. We'll come back to the action. So what's happened to Curbs? I think someone's given him a bit of a tap, I think, going into... Oh... That's not pretty. That is a very tough spot to be into that hairpin. Oh, a bit loose from Phil Sell. Scott gets through. And Phil Sell, of course, with the old tyres. As they're bundling up behind him now with Briggs, Ross, Cam Jones, Damien Johnstone, Tom Frere. But it's Brody Kostecki comfortably leading these guys down the back straight. Nearly got that lead out to a second again. It's running down now. Yep, sorry, Mark.
Yeah, so I was going to say it's 2 uncharacteristic mistakes there from Jared tonight. So maybe them tyres are starting to come into play and they're just seeing better days and he's struggling for grip.
It's Briggsy having a look up the inside of Phil Sell now. Gets it through, and of course little bit of body damage as well for Jared, so that could be affecting his a little bit, not giving him the full pace down the straightaway. So just going to keep a bit of an eye up front still. Stanaway. He is open that gap's 1.4 now to the one in front. And of course, looking towards the rear behind him, Hobson's just hanging on still. Hobson's not done yet either.
No, Brenton's done an excellent job tonight. He's chipped away all night. He's had good speed and currently finds himself on the podium with only 2 laps remaining.
Definitely a great little fight to the finish here. As right up behind is Hobson. And Tom Frez shuffled back a spot as well. So definitely a bit slow when you've got a lot of traffic through the hairpin. And Phil Sell leading this pack here in 6th. So these guys all still nicely bunched up. I think Phil Sell's about to get lapped past again by Jordan Ross this time. So definitely, oh no, not quite. Manages to hold him off. It's continuing. Oh, a bit of a tap. Ross gives Phil Sell a tap. And Phil Sell's around. Ross is in the wall. Oh, we've got 4 cars, 5 cars involved. I think Brady Baldwin's in the mix of that as well. Poor old Phil Sell. We get a bit of a tap from the boss. I think the car's not steering too straight at the moment. And he's going to go back up. Cam Jones, he's just got past Taliancic. Richie Stanaway, he is under a lot of pressure from Hobson. Now, of course, this is the penultimate lap.
Jared's car just crabbing along at the moment.
Jordan's going backwards as well. So it's a big loss of points here for the likes of Ross. Hey, we got Brady Kostecki. He's leading the last lap. The white flag has been waved. And then we have Richie Stanaway in 2nd. Brenton Hobson in 3rd. And continuing on down the order, we've got James Scott, Briggs, Taliancic. Can Hobson have another go here? And nice tight line from Stanaway. Not going to give him an inch here. Michael Taliancic, Cam Jones side by side. The battle 6th position's not decided yet. Oh, a bit of a tap there. Little bit of panel rubbing. And neatly through. Going to jump back up, of course, with our race leader. He's about to come through. Season 8 of the East Coast Series. Round 1, Long Beach. 200 kilometres, 64 laps. Our race winner is Brody Kostecki. Well done, Brody. In P2, Richie Stanaway. He holds off the hard-charging Brenton Hobson. James Scott, our reigning champ with number 1, brings it home in 4th. 5th is Adam Briggs. Great result from Briggsy. Up 7 spots, the 777. He's going to get over the line in 6th. That is great drive from Michael Taliancic. Cam Jones brings it home in 7th. 8th, Damien Johnstone. Christian Smart, he gets the jump out of our Super 2 boys and finishes in 9th. Baldwin in 10th. Angus in 11th. Jordan Ross manages to limp home into 12th. Schultze 13, Mulford 14, Robbie Bradbury in 15, Munro, Kirby, McDonald, Jared Filsell limped at home in 19th. Obviously ducked in and got a new car there for the last lap. So he's still on track, I believe. So it'd be interesting to get some of these boys to come in and have a chat, Mark, but that one was an epic race.
Yeah, great race to open the season, and it all exploded there in the last 5 laps. Lots of stuff happening. Jared Feistel, the big loser. Jordan Ross, another big loser. James Scott had his issues tonight with incidents that were not of his own making. So, yeah, all in all, it was a great race, great drive from Brodie. Richie Stanaway absolutely made the most of every opportunity that came his way, as did Brenton Hobson to get himself on the podium. Made very few mistakes and great pit strategy, good speed all night, and yeah, it was just an all-round good race.
Yeah, look, we thought these boys would bring some good quality racing, and they have. So we've got an incident on lap 60 involving 13 and 307 being noted. These guys definitely brought their A game tonight, and it was really good mix of strategies as well. Jared trying to go the earlier undercut, which almost paid off. Yeah, I think we're in for a cracking season, Mark.
Yeah, without a doubt. It's like I say, like you said, John, they all brought their A game. Pit strategy was very interesting. Jared Feistel really rolled the dice tonight, almost paid off for him. So yeah, it was a very interesting, exciting race, and big thank you to all our people watching in the broadcast. So yeah, looking forward to round 2 already.
Yeah, Road America, 44 laps, precursor to the Pro Series. So these boys will definitely all turn up with their A game for that one. Definitely looking forward to seeing how this season plays out. But got to say, I am blown away with Brenton Hobson being in third. I think Hobbo would be pretty impressed with that one.
Brenton's a quality driver. He qualified 5th. He's up 2 spots. So he clearly had the pace. He's always races smart, makes the most of his opportunities, and previous series champion. So for me, there's no surprises there. He's a quality driver and a quality person. So, yeah, thoroughly deserved in my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. And the man we must congratulate, of course, is Brodie Kostecki. What a great drive, Brodie.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It was a good night of racing and a good way to start off the championship.
Yeah, he definitely had a fair bit of going on behind you there after that restart. Interesting move, carrying them all the way to the line.
Yeah, I just didn't want anyone to get a draft on me going into turn 1. So the best way to do that was to minimize the speed approach into turn 1 and not be a sitting duck. But I just want to thank my team Lobs Esports for giving me a great car. I think it was a great showing for us tonight, and all of our sponsors, Richie's Dock Shops, Woody's Body and Paint, Jimmy's Interior Lighting, and Wallace Eye Flag products.
Definitely good to have your sponsors and yourself on board, mate, and looking forward to the next couple of rounds, like Road America's up next.
Yeah, most definitely. I really enjoy Road America, so yeah, it should be a good one. With there's some guys that are probably a bit better than me, and I got a bit sort of lucky tonight with a bit of strategy and bit of fuel saving. So, yeah, we'll see how we go.
Sounds good. Well done again.
We did. Sorry, John. We did see Jared pit very early on that second stop and get a pretty big undercut, but you were able to close that down fairly quickly. And then Jared seemed like he ran out of tyres at the end. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's probably a big ask to pit when the window opened and go home on 40 laps on a set of tyres is quite a big ask. They only sort of last 20 to 30 laps at maximum, and he was driving pretty hard at the start there, and yeah, he just sort of made a few mistakes in front of me, and locked a few front wheels, and was able to just catch him there at the end, before his tyres blew out, and then he blew his tyres off as per normal. What Jared does.
Fair enough. No, that's all right. And of course, we've got Brenton Hobson in here. Hobbo, how'd you find that one?
I'm buggered, John.
You're buggered there. That's usually the answer I get.
Yeah, it's a long way around this place, and you can't even just go off the track a little bit anywhere. You got to stay between the walls, so it's extra hard.
Yeah, definitely extra hard. And that restart, you got a little bit lucky. You must be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I got a bit lucky before it. Grabbed a couple of spots when James and whoever it was all got parked up there in the fountain, but and immediately got lost one back to that move from Richie to turn one on the restart. I just bowled a big wide and let him go because I thought for sure he was going straight past me into the fence, and he just pulled it up and passed me and made me look stupid. So hell of a pass by him there. I didn't think that he was going to stop that, but still happy with the third. We weren't the third fastest car, so I'll take that.
Yep.
But, had pretty decent pace this week around here, considering I haven't been on the sim at all. So I was pretty happy to actually convert that tonight and get a decent result to kick off the series.
Yeah, you should be pretty chuffed, I think. And you want to give a shout out for the sponsors, mate?
Oh, of course, I'd love to. Big thanks to all the sponsors: Synergy Sim Racing, Works Racing Components, Dr. Epoxy, Wave Runner Performance Center, all the rest of them. I forget. It's been too long since I've done this. So thanks to all the guys that come and had a run tonight. It was pretty good fun. A few bust ups, but for the most part, we had a good night. And thanks to yourselves for putting on a broadcast for everybody. Appreciate it.
That's all right. And of course, our P2 podium was Christian Smart, Craig Schultz, and Robbie Bradbury, I think. So those boys, we'll see all them again next week, of course. And I'd like to just quickly thank, of course, Reggie James as our chief race steward for the first time, and the rest of the race steward team, league admins, Mark for jumping in every week, keeping me company, and of course all the drivers. We can't put the show on if we don't have the drivers, and tonight they put the show on. And of course everyone out in the chat as well. It's great having you guys out there. You'll jump in, chirp up and get involved, which is great to see. And on that note, we might see everybody again next week at 8:15 for Road America. Night all.
There's no arguing that people love their cars.
We weren't arguing.
They talk about their cars, sing about their cars. Some people even look like their car. Whether it's an old car, new old car, fast car, family car, electric car, race car, two-wheel car, no-wheel car, or a car you know's parked around here somewhere. People who love their cars love to tinker with them. Some people tinker big, some people tinker small, some people tinker some degree between those two variables.
Whose voice is that?
And that's where Supercheap Auto comes in. We've been helping people tinker for 50 years. For people like Bill, Lucy, Kevin, other Kevin.
Oi, get off my car!
Didn't catch this guy's name.
It's Kevin.
Not Patrick. He doesn't shop with us. Whoever you are, whatever you drive, we'll help you make it super. Because super is our middle name. Well, technically it's our first.